One of the nice new features that React 16 is going to be bringing is the ability for parent components to trap the exceptions of child components. So traditionally, when React encounters a component where a child fails to render, the entire render is aborted, and you end up with an application that's just sort of frozen. That's going to change, and we're going to install the latest version of React, the beta, in order to take a look at the new behavior and how you can do that, how you can catch child exceptions. So go into our workspace and we'll create a new project. Defaults there. First of all, we'll install a few things for Babel to do the transformations. We're going to create a webpack config file. So we've got to install a few presets as well. Set React. Start to make that file. And create a little skeleton structure for our project. Public asset directory. Entry point. Alright, we're also going to be installing, again, the most recent beta version of React. So that's the 16 branch. Where currently React will just pull in the 15 branch. So in order to install this, we'll use the next tag for React and React DOM. Go back to our webpack config we're making here and finish that up. We'll exclude the node modules directory. I want to try and parse all that. And now we will that's going to our public directory, and we will create a little HTML file to bootstrap the script. This will be the mounting point for our React render. And we will reference our bundle here. Okay. So we'll spawn a second terminal. Oops. And we will use we have Python 2.7 installed. We're going to use the simple HTTP server module, which accepts the port as an argument, and we're going to spawn a static file server. You can do this with any number of file servers, or web servers rather, but we're just going to, for the sake of convenience, use Python's built-in. Okay, it seems to be serving up everything we need. And we'll go to the next step, which will be to create ourselves a Babel RC file for the project, so that when we webpack, Babel loader will see our configuration here and apply the correct presets, which go in ES 2015 features, and we want React. So let's make sure we're still webpacking. Alright. And now in the source file we've created, let's try and import these dependencies. Notice that the bundle grows a bit larger now that we're including React and React DOM. let's create a test component to make sure that we're rendering successfully. And now when we load, the first thing we'll do is try to render that. Actually, let's get a handle to that mount point element that we made. Called it app. And now that's where we're going to render the React component. Let's try and webpack that again. Okay, rendering successfully. Now, what we'd like to do in this video is demonstrate how React 16 and later are going to allow us to catch the exceptions of child components. So, let's create, instead of this function example, a container component. That's right. And we're going to create a little bit of state for it. And we're going to say as child error. Now, the error information that is passed through is a little bit more finely grained than that, but we're just doing a quick example, so we're just going to worry about in a Boolean sense whether or not the child's failed to render. We're going to create a component whose entire purpose is to cause an error so that we can see that new functionality. What we'll do here is we'll just try to use an undefined symbol. Now, if we webpack and run this, the whole thing breaks. Because again, we've used this undefined symbol. However, now in React 16, we have a lifecycle method which components can use to intercept child exception. And it's called componentDidCatch. Oops. So what we'll do here is note that we do have a bit more information than we're going to be using in this example, but we're simply going to say that whenever we do catch an error, we're going to force a re-render, and we're going to say that there's a child error. Now what we'll do during our render of the parent component is create an encapsulating container. Say now we'll do a conditional branch, and we'll say only in the case that there is no error do we want to render that problem child element, so it's not going to happen. Otherwise, we're going to render this warning element, which will say there was a problem rendering the child. Let's try that again. So now, although we still see the error and we still see the exception reported in the console, the entire application's render has not failed. We still get the opportunity to catch and perform some kind of alternate behavior. So in this case, if you're working with a larger application where, for example, you've got a window manager controlling multiple child components doing independent tasks, this provides a way in which you could safely allow a subcomponent to crash and possibly be respawned by some other method in the application.